Good evening, ladies, Jennifers, and my lovely NBs. We are here live in Winnipeg at Riverside Arena, where we're going to see the Winnipeg Voyagers go on against the Dakota Bikers. My name is Marcus Baylor, and to my right is Ryan Eastman. How are you doing, dude?
Doing excellent, doing excellent. Back in Winnipeg for another interesting matchup here against the Dakota Bikers, in division rivalry. Coming to you live from SportsDen. What are you thinking, Marcus, here tonight as you look at these two teams?
Yeah, well, both of these two teams are definitely in different trajectories of the season right now. Dakota still coming in strong as one of the best teams in the Western Conference, or perhaps even the league, as they have done very fairly well, winning 3 of the last 5. Meanwhile, Winnipeg still trying to find their footing here this season, as they are two of their only winning 2 of the last 5, and are hoping to continue to try and get some momentum after coming in from an upset from their last game.
Yeah, I mean, Winnipeg, definitely a team that, they have some questions they're still looking to answer. Uh, Obviously, bringing in Tyrone Gale, trying to plug in a new star, small forward to kind of give some life from that third spot to kind of complement the Francois Marnu. Again, ever since Eves retired, you know,
Mhm.
they've been trying to find that next replacement there to be the spark that pushes them on another deep playoff run. Whereas, the Bikers coming in after two big signings, Lorenz Valerio and Michael River both coming in. Another retool for the
Mhm.
Bikers trying to make a push for a deep playoff run once again. It's been, let's see, 2017 was the year they won. Or,
Yep,
yeah,
so it's
17 18.
yep, it has been a while. It's been 7 years since they last, ever tasted a chip, and they have been in that conversation for the past few years. Yes, there's been a couple of down years with some injuries and stuff, but usually when they're fully healthy, that's kind of been the expectation. So now with the fact that their core is getting a little bit older, they're doing some retooling to get some fresh legs in there to try and keep that window alive. And it so far it's been doing pretty good so far in the regular season, as they haven't lost too many games, though they did lose to the Excavators their last game in a major upset. So they're hoping to bounce back here with this game.
You can't discount the excavators. We kind of joke that this might be the next division of death, and they might be the lowest denominator of them. Winnipeg just won a championship a few years ago. Before that was
Mhm.
Dakota, and then after Winnipeg was Montana. So Edmonton is sitting in a division with three somewhat recent champions. So
Yeah.
their division record may not be the strongest, but they are not a team you can necessarily discount just because you lost to them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how that division plays out as the season goes on. A lot of both, especially with these two, and we're seeing both teams getting ready to go ahead and tip off. Yeah, but we go ahead here with the Voyagers in the white and the Bikers in the black. Voyagers winning the tip off here as we go ahead and get things started, as Malk handing back over to Tyrone. Gale getting things to settle up as Baltiv deep into the 3 point line. Has to do something with it. Pass it over to Copley, and that's going to be an in and out. But Kevin Malka's able to go ahead and try and bring it back up, but get called for the foul. So Winnipeg will be going to the line for two after that first possession.
Yeah, Zhao Jing going to be a bit of a stretch for a bit of a change up for what we're used to seeing from Winnipeg. They were running the DQ for the longest time from when they won the championship and kept him on. Now he's off in free agency. Wouldn't be shocked to hear if he retires if no team picks him up after this year. But Zhao
Mm-hmm.
Jing able to be a bit of a stretch and a little bit more modern FBA game planning.
Yeah, that's something that's going to be interesting to see how they tackle, as Jonathan Lawyer trying to go for the three, but it's not going to be good this time. Kevin Malcolm with the rebound. So right now, slow start here for the Bikers, as Winnipeg has a chance to probably get some momentum going. As Francois dishing it back over to Tyrone. Gale getting a quick screen from Malka, going for the pop, and it's not going to be good, but will go on the line for two. Mika drawing the foul there.
I have to keep an eye on Mishima. Normally, the power forward for the Bikers has been slid over to center to make room for the signing of River.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving up a bit of size. They've moved Benjamin Derby back down to the bench now, so don't be shocked to see him possibly come in if they start to see Mishima struggling against Zhao Jing.
Yeah, and right now, speaking of River, which currently has the rock, pass it over to Lawyer. Lots of passing here as Valerio has it. Gets a quick screen. Valerio going for a tough mid-range, and it's going to be good, and will draw the foul. Gale getting called for it this time. So Dakota has a chance to cut it to 1 with an old school 3-point play here.
And the Kangaroo Rat, like you said, bringing in some new blood to a more established roster. Excited to see what this third-year player is able to do on a team like this. Obviously, River, been in the league a few years longer, has 2 rings, actually, the most decorated player on the Bikers right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's bringing in that championship integrity here from River, as right now Francois getting guarded by Lawyer. So dishes back out into the 3-point as Baltav does bring it down for a 3, rattling it home. So now Winnipeg doing a really good start here. You can't ask for anything better here against this Bikers team. As now, getting the ball knocked out, and it will continue to be Winnipeg. Winnipeg in full control. As now Francois bringing it back, letting the play develop a little bit. Hands it over to Baltev, back to Martineau. Going for a quick drive, and the floater is going to be good.
A great attack. The Water Deer not able to get a hoof up in the face with the teardrop like that. No way to impact the shot at all. I have to see how the Bikers can answer back, and they're going to go to the post with Mishima off the double screen to just lay it up and in off the quick pass from Silvius.
Yeah, great dish into the paint from Silvius there, as Mika's able to go ahead and finish it off. Trying to quiet down the crowd a little bit, as they are starting off pretty rowdy here. So now the Voyagers looking to probably extend it back up to 6. As right now Baltev says going for a 3, but it's going to be in and out, as Valerio gets the rebound. So now Valerio hands it back out to Silvius. Silvius hands it over to Lawyer. And you got to be here as we get a illegal screen there from River will get called. And so that'll be a very uncharacteristic turnover there for this veteran team, as they have not really had the best start into this game within the first 3 minutes of this quarter.
Well, that's 2 turnovers. You know, the ball stolen from the third-year player, and then the unforced error and the illegal screen there, and giving Winnipeg a chance to dive in. Oh, Lawyer tipping that, intercepting the passing lane. That's one way to make up for some mistakes earlier.
Yeah, great pause there from Jonathan Lawyer. And now they have a chance to try and cut it down to a single possession game, as Silvius, getting guarded very well, decided to dish it out to the perimeter. And then Silvius does get it back for a 3, and it's going to go get rained down. And just like that, they do cut it down to only 1 point. And so now Dakota finally getting some rhythm going after that steal there from Lawyer.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a game of 3-pointers we saw already. Ooh, and a big block from River, out of bounds Voyagers ball. But, you know, Balte has already taken 2 threes. With the addition of Tyrone Gale, you have to imagine the Winnipeg lineup is also very tailored to the 3-point game outside of Malka. Whereas Dakota, you know, they still rely on River and Mishima down low in the post, and will just rely on their backcourt to actually get the 3-point game going.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think the big thing is the fact that Dakota is probably the most evenly distributed team. As right now, Balton had to go for a desperation 3, and it's going to be rattled in and out as Mika gets the rebound once again. So now Silvius turning up the gas a little bit, going over for a nice layup as Dakota takes the first lead of the game.
Well, it's funny, the field goal percentage isn't actually favoring Dakota, but that's because they've had so many turnovers that Winnipeg has had opportunities. Oh, yeah, big block from River again.
Another huge block from River, and now Jonathan Lawyer trying to bring it down. Instead, just over to Valerio. Valerio, mid-range, in and out. So now Gale getting the rebound. Trying to calm the storm down a little bit, but does miss the layup, and Valerio gets the board this time. So Dakota has a chance to extend this lead.
I wouldn't be shocked if we see a timeout from Winnipeg on their next possession. They're rushing through their shots a little bit here, and it definitely impacting their field goal percentage.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, we got Valerio, hands it over to Lawyer. Lawyer, gonna have to go for a long two, but it's gonna hit the side of the rim as Kalti does get the board. And now lots of passing along the perimeter as Kalti have it. Hands it over to Tyrone Gale. Lots of passing here for the Voyagers. Instead, we get a dish out into Francois, pulling it back, having to go for a mid-ranger. It's Baltov who goes for three, but it's not going to be good.
Yeah, after starting, I'll say after that first three, he's now missed 3 in a row.
Yeah, it's kind of been a struggle, and we do see Francois getting called for the foul as Silvius was trying to get into the paint.
No substitutions from either team. 6 minutes in, I'm a little surprised. Though. Now Voyagers are going to call timeout. A possession later than I thought.
Yeah, it has been, but right now Winnipeg has lost a lot of the momentum here into the early goings of this game, as now Dakota is up by 3, and you really got to give credit to Dakota doing some fantastic stuff on defense as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely poking at about Baltave missing those threes, but a lot of them have been because they were in the final seconds of the shot clock, being given the ball, the Puffin having to take a not an open look from beyond the arc, so definitely not giving him the best opportunity to get some momentum going from beyond the arc here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I think Dakota's starting lineup has a lot of length when it comes to their arms and a little bit more athletic build, so it's a lot more difficult to try and find those open lanes with how fast a lot of these players are. As Baltev has to go for another 3, but this time it hits it right before the shot clock hits 0.
And defender draped all over him too. I mean, he can hit those shots, but definitely want to give him the best opportunity to hit those.
Yeah, but right now Silvius coming in hot once again with a nice little layup into the paint. And right now already 9 points, perfect. But Winnipeg does answer right back with a quick finger roll.
Yeah, Gale dashing between the defenders and just the finger roll off the hooks. Of course, getting a tie game once again.
Yeah, but now we get to get a good big old matchup here as River trying to look for something. Does pan it over to Silvius. Silvius having to go for a tough shot, but it's not going to be good, but tries to get the rebound. But again, not good there either. So defenders dribbling all over Silvius, and Consley is able to go ahead and dunk it home.
Because on that last possession, River doesn't have many furs that he can't back down against. Malka being honestly one of them.
Yep, and now Silvius just on fire so far with another 3 here as Dakota gets the lead once again, up by 1.
Yeah, defense just fell off there. They were got a little tangled up with the water deer down low in the post, and Silvius just able to step back. But watch out for Baltave. I wouldn't be shocked to see him take another 3.
Yep, instead dishes it over to Tyrone, and Gale looking for a mid-range, but tried to dish it, but gets stolen there by River, trying to force a pass to Kevin Malka, but it ended up costing them there. And now Silvius, who is the hot paw at the moment. He should get back out. Looking for the play to develop a little bit here. Instead heads over to Valerio. Valerio does get the screen, but that's going to get called for an illegal screen from River, extending a little bit too much on that play. So now Winnipeg has a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, and on both sides making some substitutions here.
Yeah, that is the case here. Trying to finally get some rest. We're ready to hit the 4-minute mark here in the first quarter. And when the ball is loose and River ends up getting it. So now Dakota trying to make up for the mistake that they had. And now looking to try and extend their lead once again as Silvius just get over to River. River got a smaller body on him, but is not going to go down this time as Baltiv does get the board. And Baltiv once again feeding over to Cotley. And right now, those fast possessions is really keeping Winnipeg in this one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm a little surprised they kept River out there. 2 fouls early in this game. But, a big foul by Baltave. Gonna send Silvius the line for 2, but I wouldn't be shocked if we see River subbed out here. we've seen some big men get called for illegal screens, and that's such a quick way to build up foul trouble.
Yeah, for sure, as the first one does go down here for Silvius. And so far, Silvius has kind of been the primary scorer for the Bikers so far into this game, as he has scored, I believe he's like 11 of the 19 that the Bikers have scored.
Thus far, yeah, and I mean, we're gonna have to see now who can step up, especially Lynn coming in off the bench for Winnipeg. She's able to lay it up and in off the glass. Now, most
Yeah.
of the starters are on the bench getting a chance to catch their breath.
Yep, and now here comes Wolfgang. Hands it over to Derby, who's coming off the bench for the first time this season. And ends up losing the ball here as Atwood is able to go ahead and pick it off. Atwood trying to go into the paint, but it ends up not going there. Atwood trying to get it up there again, but it's not going to be good. So Dakota has a chance to take the lead once more.
Yeah, Jose Caristados being brought in from San Jose, a player that had been a starter for a couple seasons there in with the Thrust, but finding himself coming off the bench here in Dakota now, and gonna get called with the charge, or pushing. I'm not even sure how you would classify that.
Yep, and now Silvius will finally go get some rest, as now all of the second unit for the Bikers are now on the floor. We'll see how that's going to affect this game, as Winnipeg is up by 20-19. Ide going for three. Rattles in and out, though, as Yoshi Gahara gets the rebound. Wolfgang passes it over down to Caristados, and Caristados is going to get the long two. The pause were inside the line. So Dakota getting the lead once again. A lot of lead changes so far in the early goings of this matchup.
That it has been. And Lynn, Ronick all over Lynn, but the Orchid not able to get the basket there. It's going to be Wolfgang on the other end, blocked, rejected by Lynn.
Yeah, and what a great defensive effort there from Lynn. Now Winnipeg has a chance to take this lead once more. Dishes over to Lynn. Let's see what she can do with it. Going for a quick mid-range, but it's not going to be good. Yeah, so far the intensity between these two teams has been very high so far, as we're about to hit a minute 15 left in the quarter. And now Derby hands it over to Caristados. Gets a quick screen, going for a long two, but it's not going to go down this time as Weatherby gets the board. Ide trying to do something with it, hands it over to Lynn. Lynn, slightly bigger body, but send dishes back out into the perimeter, as Ide trying to drive around between defenders and does find a way to lay it up and in.
Yeah, the Raccoon absolutely slashing up the defense there, got by Ronick and was able to lay it up and in.
Yeah, this is going to be good so far, as Winnipeg once again up, taking the lead, and this time no good there on the Bikers side. So Winnipeg a chance to extend this more, as Grundy tries to go lay it up, but gets fouled from behind by Yoshigahara. And so now Grundy will go on the line for two. First one's going to be good. And the second one is going to be missed here. So Winnipeg only up by two with less than 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Kijani. Pass it over to Wolfgang. Wolfgang trying to do something with the paint, but is getting plastered.
Wow.
But finds a way to lay it in to tie things back up. Holy.
I would say the Wolverine absolutely bullied his way between those defenders. I'm shocked he was able to get the ball up cleanly like that. And on the other end, Kijani, it's going to be a jump ball with 1.2 seconds left.
1.2 seconds left, but I'm pretty sure we know who's going to win this one. But I will say Eric Kijani has always been a fighter throughout his career, as we get to see the tip in, as Lynn tries to put it up. And it's in.
But
so now we're going to have to review this to make sure that the shot went off right before, and they are going to count it.
Great heads-up play from the Mantis there, able to catch the ball and get it off in under 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, that's a great thing to say. So now, instead of it being tied. They do end up getting the lead in the end of the first as we start up the second with Dakota getting first possession.
I would have loved to see in the review of that. That was extremely close because the clock starts the second the jump ball is tipped. So not even a whole second to be able to grab that ball and throw it up. Pretty sure she shot the ball while still in air after catching it.
Yeah, literally a massive tip in as Eric looking for a mid-ranger here, and it will rattle home, tying things back up 25 apiece.
The fun fact, seeing Marnu with the ball reminds me, between these two teams, there are 4 first-round picks from the 2015 draft on their rosters. Obviously, you have Francois Marnu, who was drafted by the Texas Lone Stars with the 7th overall pick. Jonathan Lawyer picked with the 4th overall pick by San Jose Thrust. Silvius picked by Dakota with the 15th. And Eric Kajani picked by Pitt with the 22nd overall pick.
Oh, yeah. That's a... Yeah, I mean, that really kind of goes to show that the 2015 draft class has really been, like, one of the best that we've seen within the FBA. And with how well a lot of these players and how they got to where they are in these positions goes to show that, like, you know, that's just a class to kind of look up to. As right now Dakota not able to get it down this time. As now Winnipeg passes it, getting Lund to try to get into the paint, but it's not going to be good there as Lawyer doing some defense here into the paint. And now Walker. Getting guarded very well as hands it over to Eric. Eric passes it over to Roenick. Lots of passing here as Eric tries to go for a mid-range, but it's not going to be good. And right now we see a nice dish over to Francois, and Francois lays it up and in.
Yeah, quick basket, 6-point lead now, and you see Dakota has some of their substitutions ready to go at the next dead ball situation. The bench has not been able to get much going in terms of offense here.
Yeah, right now, that's probably why you see Lawyer on the field trying to look for a mid-range, but instead have to dish it out to Kajani. Eric, not a lot of time left, has to do something with it, goes for the long 3, and it's not going to be good this time. As Hattori gets the rebound. We get a 2-minute scoring drought here from the Bikers, and that's not something you want to see here as Winnipeg starting to extend their lead a little bit to have a cushion. And now Kevin getting guarded by Lawyer, but does get the cleanup and finishes it off. So Lawyer cannot do much there against the much bigger Mongolian.
Yeah, I mean, height-wise, he's not giving up too much, but, you know, body-wise, he is going to get absolutely bodied if he tries to get in the way of the Giant. I'm surprised Dakota hasn't called timeout here to get those substitutions in, but no, Kajani going to do a step back. But Roenick, great positioning on that offensive board and the putback.
Much needed point back as that's the first points that have been scored within the past 3 minutes for Dakota. So they find a way to quiet things down a little bit as Kevin, a lot around it, probably looking for somebody as we get a quick screen, trying to get into the paint, does go for the mid-range, and it's good.
And Malka.
Very rare you see a little bit of an ISO from Malka.
I mean, if they're going to give him a smaller body against him, and there we go, now the Bikers are going to go and call the timeout. I mean, we talk about longevity. Malka has been an absolute rock of consistency for the Voyagers ever since being drafted back in 2014. You know, you can't discount the credit he's had to this organization in his tenure here. May not be the number 1 scorer on the team, may not be the number 1 defender at all times, but, you know, he has been a major contributor. And obviously, yes, I know he's won Defensive Player of the Year twice. That does not necessarily mean that he has always been the best defender on the team.
Yep, this time there was a foul there by Ide, so it wasn't a shooting foul. But, yeah, just going back over to Kevin Malka, he has been, like, the most reliable, and it has been a very good leader. He's not the most outspoken, but a lot of people do listen to him on the Voyagers side, especially with his long tenure, as we get a quick layup there for Dakota, cutting this down over to 6, as we do see both Winnipeg only having that's only a second turnover of the night.
And that was off of Valero's tipping of the ball. And, ooh, Gale
Ooh,
almost hit that three off. A good screen there to get open. Very close to getting that fall. Defense is going to have to be a little bit tighter. They can't fall for these screens. They can't leave the... Ooh, Winnipeg.
ooh,
Battle for the ball.
yeah,
No, they're going to say River was the last one to touch it there.
yeah, and again, that's Gale, and there's one thing about Gale you have to appreciate. Like he is, like his hooves are very slippery. You got to be careful when you're trying to pass it around him.
Well, he's hungry. I
Like,
mean, you look at the team that he was traded off of the wild cards, and then they immediately made it to the finals. Traded off of the Queens now. I mean, obviously, Queens I don't think are going to be making it to the finals this year, but you know he's been on really good teams, and he's found himself in new situations multiple times. So now it's up to him to see, you know, what he can make of this Winnipeg team. Because, like I said, they don't have a ton of stars. And
ooh,
Derby
oh my
hitting a
goodness,
three.
that is, okay, all right.
Uh,
Yeah, I can't blame him getting a little bit excited for that one. Derby, a very very rare three from him, cutting the deficit down to 3 for Dakota. But we'll see if the Voyagers try and get it back to a 2-possession game here as Malka hands it over to Baltev. Not a lot of time left on the shot clock as Baltev having to do something with it. Cannot get it down there as River was able to go ahead and put a hoof in. And Lawyer trying to go coast to coast, but gets
ooh.
fouled by Ide.
Okay, I'm going to have to try and figure out. I think that might be Derby's first three in, like, I don't want to say his career. He's had to have hit a three his career.
But it's very, very rare. That might be his, like, maybe third, maybe fourth of his career, as Lawyer does get the first one down. And we'll see some substitutions on both sides as Malka will be sitting in. And now, Lawyer looking to perhaps get the second one. And it is going to go down here as with the Bikers only down by 1. And the Voyagers looking to possibly try and get this back to a 3-point game or perhaps a 2-possession lead with a 3. And now Baltev will be shooting that 3,
Ooh.
and it will go down.
Baltave absolutely killing it now from beyond the arc. He had a bit of a rough stretch there where he just wasn't making anything, and able to now hit, I think, 3 in a row from beyond the arc.
Yeah,
And,
very much needed. And right now, Winnipeg still trying to keep it on the gas as Karastados trying to go for that mid-range, trying to get into it, but gets fouled hard by Baltev. Lots of basically hugged him.
well, the Puffin got beat. He knows he got beat, and he was not going to give the Al a freebie line to the basket. And I can say that has been Benjamin Derby's first 3 that I see on record of being made. So
Oh, wow.
I guess an old deer can learn some new tricks. I guess
I
being on
mean,
the bench, he's had some more time to take some shooting practice.
hey, sometimes you just gotta appreciate what you have, and in that moment, you gotta be happy that it went in. As we do see some more substitutions, Lawyer will be sitting out, as well as Derby, as Silvius and Mishima will come in.
I'm curious if DA ever hit a 3. Considering we saw him airball from the free throw line, he's had to have at least chucked a few up.
I mean, it really all depends on the game flow, and sometimes you just gotta take a desperate 3 if there really is no other option with seconds closing down.
Now, not everyone's
Right
strong
now,
enough to be able to throw the ball full court, I will say.
and still break the glass if he throws hard
Oh,
enough.
gosh. Oh,
Anyway,
big
Baltev
foul.
yeah, big foul on Mishima as Baltev tries to go up for the layup. So Baltev will go on the line for 2. And the first one is going to go down. We'll see what happens with the second one. It will go through. So Winnipeg up by 4 now with less than 6 minutes left in the first half. As now Silvius, who had a very strong first quarter and continuing on that onslaught as he lays it up for 2. Already 16 points.
Yeah, but I'm not loving that assist total. Only 1 assist thus far. He's not really getting the team involved. And I don't know if that's just they're struggling with this defense. The Winnipeg's playing. But River, active hooves in the post, tips the ball out of bounds as was getting driven past, but not able to pull it in. I want to see. I'll say I want to see Lawyer and Valerio get more involved from the 3-point game. I don't think we've seen them hit one yet.
Oh yeah, no, it's kind of been they've been defended very well so far from Winnipeg. Is right now we get a desperation 3 there that's not going to go down here as Ryford does get the board. And yeah, Gale struggling so far, 1 for 6 with only 4 points, and I believe again that was Silvius tying it up 40 apiece.
It's been a back and forth game. Winnipeg has had the most momentum at times, it seems. And, a little throw up there with defense all around him. But Baltave leading the way for Winnipeg now, 13 points.
Yeah, and so far it has been like Baltev and Matt kind of been the main go-tos as another shot there from Silvius coming in, tying it up 42 apiece.
Yeah, keeping the crowd quiet here, but Winnipeg, I get to answer back immediately. The Raccoon has been slicing it up down low in the post, not having to really stretch it from beyond the arc. Both teams, again, very capable 3-point shooters across the roster. I'm surprised we haven't seen them go to that more here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And right now we see another drive into the paint, but this time it's not going to be good there from Eric. So now Winnipeg has a chance to extend this lead back to a 2-possession game. Baltiv going back a little bit. Heading over to Ide. Hands it back to Baltiv. Baltiv looking for something as Kazi is the one you want to see go for 3, and it's going to go in and out as River gets the board.
I was going to say, Eric has been glued to Baltave, and you have to wonder, I mean, you could probably speak to this a little bit, Marcus, but, coming off the bench, you're going to have limited minutes. You don't have to hold back at all when it comes to, giving 110%. If you know you're only going to be on the floor 10 to 12 minutes, you play the best defense of your life in those limited minutes you have.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And especially we're in Eric's case, who has really been quite the journeyman over his career.
Oh, yeah.
And Dakota, and now he finally feels like he found a home here in Dakota as Mika able to lay it in. And we will see a timeout there for Winnipeg as they're only up by 2. And Dakota's starting to feel some momentum coming their way a little bit.
I mean, they're staying in stride with Winnipeg. That's about the best I can say at the moment. They are not falling behind, but again, the rest of the starters kind of need to step it up in terms of productivity, even if it's just on defense. We've seen River with some huge blocks, even if he's not getting some scoring. And a quick reach-in foul from Valerio. Trying to get active involved, but...
Yep. It is a non-shooting foul, so it will still be Winnipeg's possession. No one's going to be shooting for some free throws. As Lynn, coming back, pass it over to Ide. Ide is going to be able to get around, but Cotley has been called for the screen. We're hearing a lot of boo birds here for that call. Not a big fan of that one, but...
I mean, they were cheering when River got called for those fouls, but, the home court, clearly, everything.
Yeah, it's... the home team can do no wrong.
I said they could commit murder on the floor and they would still be booing for the foul. And, great Wolfgang shot there. Got wide open off the screen, but inside the arc.
Yep, inside the arc, but they do tie it up 46 apiece. A lot of ties so far into this game. And right now we're going to see Winnipeg try to take the lead once more, but it's not going to be the case here. So we might see a lead change if the Bikers are able to get this one down.
I don't know if you saw on the other end, the River knocked down, no call on the contact for either side. So the ref's willing to let the game kind of play out at some points.
Yeah, but right now Silvius, who has been the hottest paw, does throw it up, and it's going to be in and out this time.
And I can't
Sure.
play hero ball. That's the other problem. Is Grundy, the Bumblebee, going to
Oh!
elevate and dunk it down?
Yeah, nice transition offense there for the Voyagers, making sure that they will go ahead and keep on with the fast pace. This time, River going toe to toe, trying to get by a defender, and it is going to be good there.
Yeah, much better matchup against Ide. He's finding himself against, the Prey Man is not nearly as difficult, or the Orchid Man is to get by her compared to, Malka. But still, want to see him definitely picking up down low in the post and opening up those 3-point lanes for the rest of the bikers.
Yeah, and Xiaoxing looking to get into the paint. This is out to Gale. Gale for three, and it's good.
Wide open. I said, you talked about his struggles earlier, but when he's given an open look like that, you expect Gale to be able to make it. And, putting Winnipeg back up by 3 here with less than a minute to go in this half.
Yeah, right now, River once again tried to drive into the paint, still getting it down. And it looks like River is trying to use a lot of his strength to get into there to keep Dakota within range to possibly take the lead, but they gotta try to contain it on defense, and they're gonna do just that with a quick steal.
Yeah, that was Wolfgang tipping it, and Wolfgang's gonna finish it on the other end.
Yes, being able to dish out to the defender that started that transition, and now Dakota has the lead.
And a block!
Block there from Eric Kajani. Whew. Right now, Dakota waking up here with these past few possessions on both ends of the floor, and really kind of give a nice left hook here on the Voyagers. As now Winnipeg looking to probably contain things a little bit as Atwood trying to get into the paint, but it's met well and will draw the foul against Ronick. And so they will go on the line for 2. But the first one is going to go down, tying it up.
Yeah, that was a huge block from Kajani, the Leopard coming in, not normally known for his blocks, but sending that out into the crowd. But Atwood is going to give them the lead with 6 and some change left. How fast can they get up the floor here? Is Walker...
Well, they got to speed it.
I think Walker's going to be the one to take it, but, inside the arc, not able to get to fall, though.
Yeah, and that's going to be the end of the first half as Winnipeg leading up only by 1 as we head into halftime.
Yeah, very close game. You were talking about, Dakota kind of coming in as the favorite, even on the road, based on how they performed thus far this year. But, Winnipeg showing they can't be taken, can't be discounted here tonight.
No, not at all. I would have to say that, like, as you alluded to prior to the game, is that both teams, like, this division is probably the toughest division in the entire league, with both of these teams being recent championship winners. As we go ahead and look into the stats.
The last decade, you could argue. I mean, it's...
Yeah, the last decade, yes.
It's been a little while since they last won. I mean, Winnipeg's much more recent, and obviously Montana even more. So, but, Winnipeg's really been spreading it out, obviously besides Baltave being the main scorer.
Mm-hmm.
And when we jump on over to Dakota, like I said, mostly it's been Silvius, and then I think River there at the end finally put up some points. And that was after, of course, accruing 2 fouls, as you see there. And it's not even that they are shooting poorly. I mean, River and Valerio are both 2 of 3.
Yeah. But Lawyer definitely has to pick it up here, not being able to get any points in the first half. So you're probably looking for him to wake up, to probably spread the defense, or at least the offense a little bit, to kind of be that 1-2 punch. Because people still consider the Splash Rush to be one of the best guard duos in the league right now. But obviously, as age comes into play, that they could be losing a little bit of gas here as Lawyer decides to pass it up to Valerio.
Well, and that's what Valerio... I was going to say, that's what Valerio's for. And, a foul on that shot. I mean, you talk about the Splash Furs and adding a third option, a triple threat from beyond the arc. It truly stretching the defense out by having all 3 of them on the floor, being able to shoot from the top of the arc in the corners. Kind of hard to defend all of them. And we've seen that thus far this year. I mean, all 3 of them averaging over 20 points a game thus far. Just tonight, It's who steps up each night to get the points down.
Give
Baltave
it right now.
open. Oh,
Ooh.
Baltave.
Baltic getting the lead right back over to the Voyagers. So they're up by 2 now. So right now, both teams starting off pretty hot offensively. As right now, Silvius doing a little bit of ISO. Possibly looking for something to develop. Does give it to Lawyer, who's wide open for 3, and he's going to make it all day, every day. Making his first basket of the night, and that will give the Bikers the lead.
Yeah, you saw Silvius was waiting for the screen to develop, and as soon as Lawyer broke off of it, wide open. And this is a team that loves to shoot off the screen for 3, and Malka just tapping it back in.
Yeah, Malka giving the lead right back over to the Voyagers, as they're now up by 1 once again. And now River going tit for tat with Malka. Instead, dishes back out to Silvius. Get a quick screen. Gets attacked here, and River being able to clean things up.
Yeah, the
Letting
give and
that
go.
finger roll play develop.
Yeah, I'd say the give and go off the screen. River found himself wide open. And, Silvius, good heads up play to pass to him. Even if the defense was able to collapse on, the Deer had way too much of a head start to the basket there. And Gale, he hit from there earlier, and he hits again.
Yeah, right now, Gale taking full advantage of being left wide open with nobody around. And now we see a quick foul there by Xiaoxing. And it will be a reach in, so Dakota will still have possession. No free throws. See a quick dish back over to Silvius and Valerio. Once again along the 3-point line. Lots of dishing around the perimeter as Lawyer has it. And then hands it back over to Valerio. They got to do something here. Going for a mid-range, and it does hit home as the shot clock was winding down. And we get to see a quick tie, 61 apiece, as Valerio being very efficient so far tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he was calling for the screen from River, just didn't develop in time. And ooh, River, great block there, just sticking both hooves up in the air and not able to get around him on that shot attempt. And oh, there we go, fast break. Valerio, the Kangaroo Rat, finds his way for the backdoor play off the glass for another basket to take the lead once again.
Yep, the Bikers doing a really good job, and now they take the lead, and the Voyagers will be forced to take a timeout as Dakota is starting to get their rhythm once again. And once that rhythm starts going, you got to be really careful because it could get ugly really quick. But in this game, the Voyagers have done a good job at trying to snuff out any sense of momentum's going with a couple of solid defensive stops. But obviously, they do need to make sure to get those baskets down on the other end as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the 3-game opening up for Winnipeg, and I want to see what the Bikers coach, Lucas Dupree, is telling his team how to adjust to that, because they can't afford to keep leaving Gale and Baltave wide open for me on the arc.
Yeah, for sure. They have to be able to not super wholly focus on the paint too much, as, again, Baltev laying it up with the finger roll. As Baltev also going tit for tat with Matthew Silvius, as he's got 18 points so far for tonight.
A very close game between the two of them. And off the screen, Valerio, 3 in a row now. Starting to get a little hot himself from mid-range here.
Yep, Valerio doing a really good job. Has really fit into this offense well, and now kind of being that secondary scorer so far tonight. As Dakota's up by 2. Baltev once again has the rock. Getting a good screen. And will go into the paint, but gets defended well by Silvius. And now Silvius has a chance to take it over to Lawyer, and Lawyer will go ahead and give a finger roll, and that's good.
Yeah, that's the risk with this team on the fast break, is you never know if they're just going to take it from beyond the arc on the fast break, or if they're going to actually drive to the basket. As a defender, it's a nightmare because you're trained to get between them and the basket, but that just leaves you open from the arc. So if you try to cut them off of the arc, it leaves a path to the basket. You have to pick your poison with them.
Yeah, for sure. And with that being the offensive onslaught, as Silvius not able to get it down this time as Cottonley gets the rebound. And right now, Baltev, ooh. Ball was almost intercepted there by Silvius, but Baltev was able to get it by. Trying to slow things down a little bit as Kevin Malka does have a bit of an advantage here and will try to get it down, but it won't be good. But Kevin will be able to clean up his own miss as he's able to take care of Mishima and cut this deficit back down to 2.
Yeah, it's a close game. Like I said, tit for tat both ways. Is now River forced to pull up.
Yeah, right now a lot of dishing along the perimeter here as Valerio has the rock this time after the rate of passing. River gets the screen. Valerio with the pop, and it's good.
4 in a row now. Up to, 15 points total, 6 for 7. Absolutely lights out. And Voyagers are not happy. Coach, that's his second time out in under 5 minutes, under 3 minutes, I feel like.
Yeah, I think it goes to show that, like, Dakota's starting to heat up a little bit on the perimeter side of things, especially when it came to Valerio, who has not missed the past 4 shots. And I believe he's perfect for this quarter, too, if I recall correctly, as Lund. Lots of passing along the perimeter as Ide has it. Does get a little bit of a lane here and will attack with that quick mid-ranger.
Yeah, and Ide has also starter experience from his time in Albany, so he's not a player they can discount. As Valerio, heat check.
Woo!
That was a long 3, and River trying to tap it back in, but I don't blame Valerio. He has a hot paw right now, and it's gonna be Lawyer on the other end fouling Francois to send him to the line for 2.
Both names we haven't really heard a lot of so far this game, as Francois does make the first one. And Martineau will have a chance to tie it up here. And he will do so. 69 apiece, pretty nice. With 6 minutes left in the third quarter. And right now, Lawyer hands it over to Valerio, who bashes back to Derby. Right now, a lot of passing so far as Lawyer looking for something, does get the screen. Not much coming out of it as Silvius has to go for a heat check, and it's going to be in and out. So now, right now, we get to see Silvius trying to steal it, but Ide finds a way to collect it and get the lay-in as the Voyagers are up by 2.
Yeah, quick offensive turnaround 4 after those timeouts, and Lawyer gonna try and hit a 3 himself. Ooh, wide open, but not able to.
Yeah, those are not ones that you really expect him to miss, especially being as open as he was. But Winnipeg is looking to try and take advantage of that, but it's not going to be good there as Benjamin Derby does get the rebound. Valerio hands it back over to Silvius. Trying to let things slow down a little bit. Will get the screen as Silvius lays it up, and it's good. And that'll be his 22nd points of tonight as we're tied once again, 71 apiece. It's Weatherby. Does have a bit of a size advantage here. Trying to get back, but instead dishes over to Kevin and picks it back over to the perimeter on Lund. Lund having to go to attack the basket, and it's not going to be good, and it's going to tip out to the Bikers. So the Bikers, once again, doing very well on defense to make sure that they will come up empty here for the Voyagers.
Again, this game has been way too close to tell. Neither team has built more than a couple baskets difference between them at any point. So, besides that one drought we saw the Bikers suffer, Valerio a little bit closer this time to the three-point line is good. That is now the 4th Biker to hit a 3.
Yep.
So spreading the ball out.
Yeah, spreading the ball out, trying to kind of expose some lanes here as Winnipeg trying to clean this back up, but does get the miss. And to go back to what you said earlier, I believe the biggest lead so far for this game has been 6. So only 2 possessions as Derby trying to get something going, but it's not going to be good this time as the Voyagers tried to stop the bleeding a little bit. And now Ide going for a mid-range, and it's good. Yeah, the biggest lead is 8, excuse me, as Dakota is going to end up calling timeout here as they're only up by 1, and both these teams has really been going head to head so far as these rivals just not backing down from a fight.
Yeah, I mean, it has been extremely close between these two. And, again, even that 3-minute drought we saw from the Bikers, we did not see Winnipeg build too much of a lead. And we're going to see now bench coming out for both of them. They're going to give their starters a chance to rest for that final quarter as
Yep.
Karasatos not able to get that lay in the fall.
Yeah, right now we get to see Grundy trying to drive in, but it's not going to be good as Walker gets the board. And Karasatos pans over to Derby, and Derby dunks it down. Yeah, right now Atwood passing it over. Now we get to see a quick fadeaway, and it's gonna rattle home. So right now the Voyagers doing very well with 48%, but Dakota just doing a little bit better here with 54 as Wolfgang is gonna knock that down a little bit with that miss. And now Atwood trying to get into the paint and will do that, just that, laying it up and in. And now Winnipeg has the lead.
Yeah, we saw the field goal percentage was actually in favor of Dakota earlier, but the turnovers have just not been in the Bikers' favor. And that is coming back to bite them. Sure, they can hit more shots as Walker is going to pull up from beyond the arc and adds to the 3. She is able to slide that back with a little step back jumper. The defense wasn't ready for that at all.
No, not one bit here is Winnipeg looking for an alley-oop as Lynn dunks it down.
That was a great pass to the Mantis flying in the air. She was able to turn around and dunk it in and see how the Bikers answer. They want to go Derby in the post, but he's not able to make it work.
Yep, and Hatari does get the rebound. So now we get to see a nice dish over to Lund, and Lund dunks it down. And just like that, Winnipeg, a lot of momentum gets swung their way for these past couple possessions as they are able to get the crowd in it.
And Walker going to step back again. Not good this time. I mean, she baited like she was going to drive to the paint and was able to get a good look, honestly, there. And Lund, back-to-back dunks coming in from the Newt.
Yep, back-to-back dunks for Lund, but 3 straight dunks in a row for the passing possession for the Voyagers. And now all the momentum is going over to Winnipeg as things are starting to get a little bit out of hand. Crowd calling defense. Wolfgang going for a long mid-ranger, in and out.
Rattles out such a close bucket there, and I wouldn't be shocked if Dakota calls timeout after this next possession. Winnipeg has found some momentum here, and they need to absolutely cut it down. That's one great way with Sylvia Walker stealing it. Fast break. Jose Karasatos, fouled hard from behind by Atwood.
Yep, Karasatos will go on the line for 2 here, but Jose getting the first one down. Much needed basket there as Dakota is going to make some changes in the front court as the second one will go down. So Winnipeg only up by 2, 83-81 with under a minute left in the third quarter. Atwood getting guarded. Hands it over to Hatari. Hatari hands it over to Grundy, and Grundy is absolutely taking over as the paint has really been exposed by the second unit as Winnipeg has just been attacking non-stop with each possession as they're up by 4 once again.
Yeah, and Dakota just sat Derby down, so, you have to feel like the paint has gotten even weaker now as Wolfgang off that play, not able to get down. Ronick, second chance is good. And I was going to say, I think the Winnipeg bench has been a bit better than Dakota Bikers bench thus far, at least in terms of production here.
Mm-hmm.
As they're going to take the last shot from beyond the arc.
Oh my God!
That is now basically 2 buzzer beaters from Winnipeg here tonight. There were technically 0.2 seconds left on the shot clock, but I think that was being generous by the timing.
No, I still count it as a as a last second, like at the buzzer type of shot. And from Malka of all people.
Yeah, again, 5 points have come in for Winnipeg as the shot clock was basically expiring for the quarter. So now we find ourselves down a 5-point deficit, in fact, for Dakota. They find themselves down. And Winnipeg will get the possession to start this final 12 minutes of this game.
Yeah, right now, Kevin, is it over to Cotley. Cotley going for a long three, and it rattles home.
See, but Zhao Jing is a bit more known for being able to stretch the floor. So, again, not that surprising from him, but to have Malka, ooh. How are Dakota going to answer if they're just getting rained on from beyond the arc by everyone on Winnipeg now?
Oh, my good. Yep, and right now, Tyron Gale will get called for the reach-in. We're not in the bonus here, so it will still be the Vikings' possession with 14 left on the shot clock. And we do see some starters in here as well for Dakota as they try to contain this. This is the second biggest lead for Winnipeg. As right now, Eric going for a pop-up, and it's good.
Yeah, the nice little stutter step there, and we do see Winnipeg actually taking over in terms of field goal percentage. They have just been so lights out in that third quarter that they pulled ahead. And now what can the defense do adjustment-wise? As like I said, River's back on the floor. Matt and John and Valerio, or sorry, no, John's out. Matt and Valerio getting a chance to rest a little bit more before being brought back in.
Yep. Yeah, I think the big thing right now for Dakota is to just, at least contain the paint, because the paint has really been the big weak point for the Vikings in the third quarter, as they get a miss there, as Francois getting guarded by Lawyer. Instead, dish it over to Xiao Xing. Xiao, has to dish it back over to Francois. Bardu going for a long three, but Xiao Xing is able to clean it up as the Winnipeg, once again, back up by 7.
Yeah, Bikers can't have empty possessions at this point. That is the main factor when it comes to how they can get this deficit down. And you have to wonder who's going to step up. Mishima trying to back down. Not to Lawyer from the side, not able to get the three-pointer to fall.
Yeah, it has not really been his night so far, as Martineau gets blocked there by Lawyer, though. Lawyer being able to get some defensive answer there to try and stop the bleeding a little bit. Now Lawyer trying to get into the paint. Going for a tough mid-range, and it is going to be good.
As you said there, the biggest lead was 8, but we've had 22 lead changes and 14 ties. This has been an extremely close game here tonight. And a hard foul.
Very hard foul there by Yoshikahara. And now Tyrone will go on the line for 2. First one going to be good. And again, second one. Good once more. So even though when the Bikers trying to dish a couple of things on offense, they have not been able to contain Winnipeg as much on defense, as they still keep that cushion alive. All right, now Eric trying to find some kind of way into the paint, but has to go for a tough shot. But Mishima able to collect it. I believe that was blocked, but Mishima was able to collect it and clean things up himself. And so now they're once again down by 5. And we get a much needed stop there from Valerio. As Dakota, we're going to get into the paint. Lawyer now starting to wake up on offense here. The Meerkat, 10-year veteran, now cutting the deficit down to 3. And we are once again back into this tight-knit contest. As Bontev wide open for 3. That's going to be all day, every day. Bringing it back up to 6.
Yeah, I'll say Baltave has been the main scorer for the Voyagers, but he's definitely had a lot of help getting this lead here for them. As again, 6 points, and now Mishima trying to wait for something to develop, but nothing really coming to. Going to give it back to Lawyer.
Lawyer is looking for the screen, does get it. We'll go for the pop, and it's going to be in and
out.
But Mishima coming out of nowhere, dunking it down.
I mean, he's perfect from the floor, but I'd like to see him shoot a little bit more. Like, yes, great, your stats are doing wonderful, but I mean, cleaning up that miss is one way. If he's going to be active down low in the post, is River against Malka. Malka not able to get it to work. So I think Matt's ready to come in at the next dead ball. We have Valerio with it. Losing it.
Oh, losing the ball is now Baltev. Has the rock, trying to extend this once more as they tried to get it up, but Xiaoxing able to clean it, going to Gale. Gale for three. Oh, nope.
Moves inside the line. Wasn't able to set up fully, but still a long two. And yep, Bikers are going to call timeout. They want to set this last 7 minutes up. They're down by 6. It's far from being insurmountable, but the fact that Winnipeg's about to break 100 already shows that the Bikers defense just has not been able to clamp down on Winnipeg here tonight.
Yeah, no, it's really been a struggle here late in this game, trying to find something to get some stops on defense. But now, Lawyer hands it over to Silvius, who's back on the floor, going for a tough three, and it's good. And if there's anybody that'll bring the Bikers back into this game and perhaps even take full control, it has been Silvius, who's been one of the hotter first of tonight, as Kevin finding a way to get into the paint and lay it up and in, as Winnipeg makes it past the century mark, 101-96.
And that was a very tough pass down to Malka in the post like that, but able to get it to work. And again, Bikers need to start shutting down. They need to come away with some good defensive stops. And it seems like they've really only had luck with when it's a big block.
Yeah, and right now, River able to go ahead and answer right back with a layup of his own. River with 8 points so far into this game. Not the biggest night for him, but that could change in a dime. And now, Malka. Going tit for tat for River, but instead dishes to Baltev, but Silvius right on him. Still getting Tish over to Gale. Gale trying to get by a defender. Does go for a wild three, and it's going to be in and out, but it gets tipped over, and Malka finds a way to clean things up and finish it up.
I say Malka right now is keeping them ahead between getting dished down low and getting those second chance opportunities.
Yeah, right now the Bikers have done a very poor job of bossing him out, as Lawyer going for a mid-ranger, but it hits the side of the rim.
And cutting in from one sideline to the other, had a good look at it, had to spin 180 and get that shot off quick. Now he's down in the post.
Yeah, that's not something you really want to see there, as we get a quick screen here as a lane gets open, but it's not going to go down this time, as the Bikers are able to go ahead and get this rebound. Lawyer has a lane and get called, and will draw the foul against Martineau.
I think it was more Martineau drew the foul on purpose. I mean, Lawyer was not leaning into him at all, and the retriever kind of jumped on him to prevent that open lane to the basket. Not going to let at least be an and one opportunity, but again, 3-point game here. All the Bikers need is one stop and one quick three to tie it up again.
Yeah, right now, Winnipeg try to live with something. Malka wide open in the paint. He has not been contained at all late in this game, and that's what's keeping them with this 2-possession cushion. As Silvius needs to find some kind of answer here, as he hands over to Mika. Mika will draw the foul against Xiaoxing, as first one will go down. Mika not able to get the second one, so it will still be a 2-possession game. That is not what you want to see, especially with under 5 minutes left of the game. And we get to see, I believe that was blocked from behind, and the Bikers able to go ahead and prevent the worst case scenario.
I was saying that's the first missed free throw we've seen tonight from either team.
Yeah, for sure. As River able to go ahead and clean things up, as they are now only down by 2. And so far, both teams really doing very well, but the Bikers need to find a way to contain the paint, as Xiaoxing getting guarded well. Will not make the miss, but does get the rebound once again. Another offensive rebound for the Voyagers, but this time they're not going to take advantage.
And Valerio Finding his way to the paint. Got to take a free throw, basically, and not able to convert it, though. And now he had a very hot streak going in the third quarter there for a bit, but not able to continue it here in the fourth.
Yeah, and right now, Baltev, once again, going up against it, Mika. Now Malka, trying to go for a tough mid-range. It is good.
And
so that's one.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and that's the one thing you're going to really have to give credit where credit is due here for the Voyagers, is that even though that it has been tight-knit, they have not took their paws off the gas pedal. As Valerio trying to go for a mid-range, but is getting guarded well, and that's not going to do much as Baltev gets the rebound.
Yeah, he got a huge pump fake, and we're going to see Zhao Jing wide open. The fast center able to get down low into the post and dunk it down, and I wouldn't be shocked if we see the Bikers potentially call another timeout here, but they have to get a 3, in my opinion, to at least keep this close. As River, I mean, that is one way to possibly get a 3, I guess, if he can hit this.
Type of way. River.
Oh, I jinxed him. I'm so sorry.
Not able to get the clutch shot that is needed, so now they are only down by 4. And once again, very lackluster defense in transition as Shaoxing gets another easy layup, and they're back down by 6. And now you see a nice little layup there for Matthew. 27 points so far into this game, but the Voyagers are going to call a timeout this time, which is very interesting.
I agree. It is a bit of the fact you really want to save your final timeouts, obviously be able to move the ball up the court, but when you find yourself up by 2 possessions here, you want to make sure that you're able to get possession this time to push it to 3 possessions, but also the game plan. If things start to fall off the rails, what do you do? I mean, they can burn about 48 seconds just by holding the ball, but they could find themselves down really quickly if they can't get a basket here to kind of really put the Bikers in a tight position.
Yeah, they need to make a basket here, and they might do just that. As Lawyer having no choice but to foul there.
Yeah, the screen was so good that Baltev had an easy lane to the basket, so Biker is hoping that he misses, but no, converting on both.
Yep, so they're once again down by 6, and so this probably is you gotta have to probably look for a 3 here, and you got a lot of options here if you're a Biker. But this time River trying to go tit for tat into the paint, but it's not going to be good, and that might cost them the game there as Shaoxing looking over to Baltev as Malka deep into the outside of the 3-point line as Shaoxing once again.
There's burning time. They don't have to risk it. I mean, even Baltev wide open could have taken that 3.
No, and it's going to be in and out here as Valerio does get the rebound. So Dakota still have a chance, but they got to come up with something. Trying to find a way to get into the paint as I'm not a big fan of it as we dish it back out to River. Under 10 seconds left. Hand it over to the best paw so far tonight, Silvius, going for a long one, but it's not going to go down. And that might do it here if the Voyagers do end up scoring, and that is going to be the case, and that's going to do it. Mike is going to call timeout.
I mean, it is very difficult at this point to imagine a way the Bikers can pull back in it. They'd have to hit a quick 3, steal the ball, hit another quick 3, and then maybe you could argue they're in it, but it's I agree. I feel like they're going to have one go at it, but they can't make a 3 on this possession. I don't see how they can they're going to do an inbound 2, but still down by 6 here.
Yeah, I mean, like, getting something is better than nothing, but you would have liked Silvius to kind of go behind the line a little bit, to a couple of steps back, but right now Silvius will go ahead and take the personal foul and get guys on the line. If there's one person to foul, it is Malcolm, but they decide not to do that as Martinu goes for 3, but it's in and out. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure what you would expect him to go for foul here. But instead, Lawyer hands over to Valerio, who hands it back over to Silvius. Silvius pulling it back.
Their time management has been questionable in the strip there. I was gonna say, they actually had a chance. If they got the court really quick, they could have taken a quick three and left
Ex
time on the clock. But
but that's gonna do it after the first one goes down, and Kevin, not gonna hit the second, but I don't think it really matters here as Winnipeg is up by 7 here. And right now, Yoshikahara hands it over to Gajani. Gajani for 3, and it's gonna be in and out as we do get to see a 3 here as the Voyagers are gonna call their final timeout, but with only 6 seconds left, you would imagine that Dakota's probably gonna foul here, and that'll most likely do it.
yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
the only thing that could theoretically happen is if the bikers intercept the ball in the inbound, chuck it up, do not foul them on their throw, because that would be a 4-point play. But
but
no, they're not going to play that game.
yep. So the Voyagers will be coming out with the win. Just got to be depending on how the score is, and it looks like it will be there, 118 to 112, as this will be the second loss in a row for the Bikers going against the going within the division.
Yeah, I mean that's not a great look. Obviously, wanting I feel like the defense kind of had a bit of heavy legs there in the final quarter, as we saw a number of fast breaks just shouldn't have gone their way, but we saw it quickly, and River not able to get that tap back. So you do see there a 6-point win for Winnipeg, a very close game. As Malka,
Hmm.
I mean, I'd say maybe wins player of the game, 10 for 14. He absolutely picked it up in the third and fourth quarter.
Yep, Baltev is also a good option too with 25 points so far in this game as well. Did slow down a little bit in the later half, but those two really coming in clutch here for the Voyagers at home, as well as some solid play here from the Voyagers as well. Meanwhile, for the Bikers, while Lawyer had a pretty decent game at 13, it wasn't the most efficient for him, but Sylvius kind of have been like one of the major contributors here as well as Valerio.
Well, yeah, and I was gonna say the bench, kind of we'll see when we jump onto the team stats. I feel like the bench maybe for the Bikers was a little bit lacking in terms of productivity. Uh, but they definitely did pick it up in the second quarter there. But there you go, 21 points coming in on the fourth quarter, or sorry, the third quarter alone from Winnipeg. Kind of tells you all you need to know, I think, in terms of uh, how the bench was able to step it up. I mean, 36 points to end it. Free throws, both sides were pretty much even. Three
Hmm.
pointers, pretty much even. You see the steals actually favored the Bikers.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, it's really because the fact that like they kind of uh really was just like lost in the sauce on defense for a majority of the fourth quarter, especially when it came to those fast break possessions within the paint that made it look too easy. It just seemed like they were having a whole like showcase within the paint with Shao Xing and Kevin Malco just finding their ways to get under the basket with no one around them.
Yeah, and I think at that point they perhaps should have made the adjustment of bringing back Derby on the floor. A, fresher legs. B, bigger body. Let
Hmm.
him run hard and actually be able to try and put some pressure on both Malka and Zhao Jing. But again, Bikers, a good game, not necessarily in terms of the score, only losing by 6. Winnipeg is a team we kind of had expectations for this year that maybe they haven't lived up
Hmm.
to quite yet. But it really comes down to where you're at when the season wraps up. I mean, you can have a great start to your season, but it's very easy to fall apart. Whereas if you have a very rough start to your season, being able to build yourself back together, you find yourself in a better position come playoff time. If you're whatever way the momentum is swinging at the end of the season.
Yeah. Well, this is definitely a good opportunity as this is the second game that the Voyagers has won. But of course, this is still the early goings of the season. A lot can happen between now and the end of the season, and it's just going to be exciting to see what happens. But for this one, the Voyagers is able to go ahead and get things done in a very, very close matchup, especially at the end of the fourth quarter where they finally took over and fully put ice on this cake.
Any other final thoughts, Marcus, before we sign off for the night?
Nope. I'm just very excited to see what we're gonna do for the next one. We will see you guys next time for this next upcoming sports den.
Have a good night, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in.